Writing has a long tradition in South Asia. The earliest writing script, the Indus script from the Indus Valley civilization, dates back to the mid-3rd millennium BC. This means that the writing script was used about the same time as the Akkadian cuneiform writing system and Egyptian hieroglyphs. Following the discontinuation of the writing script, 2000 years passed until two writing scripts known as the Kharosthi and Brahmi scripts emerged around the 3rd century BC. This does not mean that the two Indian scripts were never related to the Indus script. There are graphic similarities between some of the signs, but without archaeological evidence to support the genealogy between the scripts, it is not possible to conclude a relation. The Kharosthi writing script is strongly influenced by the Aramaic script, and like most Semitic scripts, was written from right to left. Its use was limited to northwest India, but it died out by the 2nd century BC. The Brahmi script, on the other hand, had a much more influential impact to the development of writing in India. It is likely that the Brahmi script was also influenced or derived by some Semitic script because initially the script was also written from right to left, before the direction was later reversed and remained written from left to right for most of its history. The Brahmi script developed a structural design that is adopted and can be found in many modern Indian scripts such as Devanagari, Tamil, Thai, and Tibetan. Some scholars estimate that upwards of 200 scripts are derived from the Brahmi script, and they have been applied to languages from 4 different language families: the Indo-Aryan, Dravidian, Sino-Tibetan, and Austronesian. Geographically, the Brahmi-derived scripts can be found all over the Indian subcontinent, in Southeast Asia, and in Central Asia. The two major design features that define a Brahmi-derived script are, firstly, the independent or initial vowel signs, and secondly, diacritic vowel indication in post-consonantal position. One example of an independent and initial vowel sign is A in alpha, where A exists independently of the other preceding signs. Not all writing scripts provide this possibility, as they may encode the initial vowel with the preceding consonantal sign or in the form of diacritics or other markers. The development of initial vowel sign is expected of the Brahmi script as it was used to write various Prakrits or Indo-Aryan dialects that had vowel initial words and syllables consisting of only vowels. However, the majority of syllables are of the consonantal vowel type. The CV type syllable gives rise to the characteristic graphic syllable of Brahmi-derived scripts called the Aksara. An Aksara consists of one or more consonants followed by a vowel, but a vowel is not encoded by an independent vowel sign as in A in alpha. Instead, the vowel is encoded by a diacritic sign called matra, which is adjoined to the consonant sign. Usually, there is a consonantal base that inherits a vowel. This inherited vowel can be superseded by the use of another vowel diacritic on that consonant. The most frequently used inherited vowel is usually a reduced schwa or A, which is usually translated as A. As you can see in this example of Brahmi Ka sign, the initial consonantal base has an inherited A. However, with the addition of diacritic markers, the A can be replaced with an E, U, or O just as easily to form K, Ku, or Ko respectively. In Brahmi, as well as in some other Brahmi-derived scripts such as Tamil, where there are syllables of the CCV or consonantal vowel type in the language the script encodes, conjunct consonant signs may be used where one consonant sign takes a reduced form graphically in the conjunct consonant sign. This shall be discussed further later on. The Tibetan writing system dates back to the 7th century of the Common Era as a syllabic script. Its origin is not well attested, but it is widely assumed to be patterned on the Gupta script, which is an offshoot of Brahmi, that flourished with the Great Gupta Empire until the 6th century of the Common Era. Another theory to the creation of the writing script is that it was invented by a minister called Tonme Sambutta around the mid-7th century, who had traveled to India and invented the script based off the Nagari script, a script that would eventually develop into the Devanagari writing script years later. The Tibetan writing script is written from left to right. The basic functional unit of the script is a yige, which is the equivalence of an Aksara in Brahmi. Yige are basic consonant signs that each contain an inherent vowel A, and there are 30 yige in the Tibetan writing script. Diacritic markers are added to a yige to change the value of the inherent vowel from an A to a different vowel. There are 4 main vowel diacritic markers, and these are for E, U, E, and O. For example, the system for the voiceless velar consonant K is pronounced as Ka when used independently. However, if we include the superscript for E, the symbol is read as Ki. Unlike other Brahmi-derived syllabic script, the Tibetan writing script only has one independent vowel symbol, which is for A. Hence, if one wishes to write a word that starts with a vowel other than A, one has to use the independent vowel symbol for A and use it with another of the other vowel diacritic. For example, this is a symbol of what O would look like. The paucity of vowel letters makes for difficult reading, as vowel signs take on multiple values. To exemplify this difficulty, Modern Tibetan, the language, has 12 distinct vowels and 2 tones in the language, but the Tibetan writing script only has 5 vowel signs that are distinguished, while tones are not marked at all. To compensate for the vowel deficiencies in the writing script, several innovations are introduced. For example, the yige for H, called the achong, can be used as a diacritic marker to create a long vowel. In this example, in order to make the word pa, I can simply add the achong as a subscript. The yige for ya can also combine as a diacritic to 7 other yige to form conjunct consonant signs like kya and pya. The yige for l can combine with 6 other yige to form conjunct consonant signs like bla and zla. Like other Brahmi-derived scripts, the graphic syllable is a 2-dimensional form to be interpreted as a whole instead of a linear string of consonants and vowels. In the Tibetan script, the internal structure of the ligature may no longer correspond to the phonetic interpretation. This is primarily due to the language behind the writing script changing without the writing script being reformed accordingly. A similar phenomenon can be found in French, where written words often take on the form of how it was once pronounced before the language behind the script changes. And it is also found in some English words. For example, the word night, where the K used to be pronounced in Old English, but in current English it is no longer pronounced. Thus, in the Tibetan writing script, the prescript for B and the postscript for D are common vestigial remnants and are not pronounced when read. A diacritic marker called check, written as a superscript dot on the right shoulder of a yige, indicates the syllable closure. For example, sa and da combined with a check on the da symbol will form sad, which means to awaken in modern Tibetan. 2 consecutive yige without a check to separate the symbols are to be interpreted as a consonant cluster. However, it is also possible to simply separate the 2 yige in isolation to achieve the same result. This structural possibility would imply that technically, the Tibetan writing script can be structured more linearly compared to other Brahmi-derived script. But as you can see from the analysis of the writing script so far, the functional unit of the writing script is still the graphic syllable. The Tibetan script also has a unique array of symbols and markers to represent extra phonetic elements. You may find the yig migo that marks the beginning of a text, the sebudul shad that separates topics from subtopics, the chig group that marks the end of a section, the don chan that marks the end of a topic, the keter shek that is used like a comma, and the guk retux gyon and guk retux gyas that is used like brackets. Furthermore, the Tibetan script also has a unique numeral set of symbols of their own that are different from the Arabic numerals. I hope that you have enjoyed this short video about the Tibetan writing script, one of many Brahmi-derived scripts that have emerged throughout the centuries. If you would like to see more similar content, please do leave a like, comment and subscribe to my channel so I would know what kind of content I can work to produce. I would like to credit this video to Florian Kolmas for his research into the various writing scripts and to Pexels for the videos.